Good Sunday morning and welcome to Inside Tennessee. I'm your moderator and we are glad to have you with us, and also one of the most powerful politicians in the state of Tennessee who has held that title for years. Some perspective right now. If you think Governor Bill Lee has a lot of experience in politics, the gentleman with us this morning first took office when Bill Lee was 19 years old. Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally is with us, and the Dean of the Senate, we're glad to have you.
Thank you. It's good to be here. And I don't know about the most powerful politician in Nashville, but I think there's quite a few that are very influential and powerful.
Well, we're going to dive into the politics and the power in our state legislature. My colleague John North with us this morning. Lieutenant Governor, you're a pharmacist by trade, but you've been at this political thing for quite some time. Let's talk first about what you think is the most pressing issue facing this state.
The most pressing issue is it's the only thing we have to do, and that's the appropriations bill, and making sure that we get it right. There's a lot of uncertainty in our national economy, and we want to make sure that Tennessee's prepared to meet that uncertainty. And right now our revenue figures are coming in fairly strong. Year to date, let's see, the sales tax is up 8.6, I'm sorry, and F&E that's the second biggest tax we collect, is up 14.1. The road tax is down a little bit, 0.7, but that's probably because of the high price of gasoline.
That is the only thing that the legislature is constitutionally mandated to do,
right,
year in, year out, and that is bring a balanced budget forward. That's what you're working on. Let's talk about transportation, Governor McNally, and whether you think these choice lanes that some of your colleagues are talking about, which are glorified toll lanes, they're choice toll lanes, if you want to do them, are you in support of something like that to help the transportation effort?
Well, I'd have to know a little bit more about them before I make up my mind. Governor Lee and Commissioner Butch Ely, who heads up TDOT, have really worked hard on this, and I think it deserves a very good going over by the legislature. Of course, Becky Massey from Knoxville is the chairman of transportation. She'll have a lot to do with it, and probably Bo Watson from down in Chattanooga chairs the Finance, Ways and Means
But
Committee.
before you say yes or no, you need more information.
Right.
Okay.
Are you in agreement that it's time now for Tennessee to start thinking about planning for the growth and what we already have on our roads and how to deal with it?
Definitely, I do. And one thing about the gas tax, we do have a fairly big chunk that we spend in administration, and whether that should come out of general services, general state taxes rather than gas taxes, and so we can say that all the money that's collected at the pump is used to build and maintain roads.
One specific road question, Lieutenant Governor, some of the reporting that John did earlier this week, and one of our reporters in a Simlot on exit 407 and the Buc-ee's that is going in there. That's the major exit off I-40 that takes people to Sevierville, Pigeon Forge. TDOT in a draft opinion saying they think it'll add 15,000 cars and trucks every day to that interchange. From your perspective, can you build another interchange with the money that TDOT has right now?
Well, first you'd have to get permission from the feds to do it. And it probably not immediately. And this is one thing Commissioner Ely is trying to do. It normally takes about 20 years from start to finish on a road project, and he's going to try to bring that down to something more reasonable in the 5-year range.
I want to stay on transportation for a minute. You've represented the Oak Ridge area and parts of Knox County for a long time, since the late 70s. You remember the Orange Route and all the debate about that. So, as I'm sure you're familiar, Knox County Commission has said, hey, we have so much tractor-trailer traffic on westbound 40 from the split to this point of view for 17 miles. Maybe we need a beltway. Maybe we need a bypass. It looks to me, and I'm not the smartest man at this table, but it looks to me, if I'm looking at a map, it's going to have to go through Anderson County and part of your district. I know it's early, and these things take years and years of planning and preparation and construction, but I'm curious what you think about Commission saying, going to the legislature saying, would y'all please talk about possibly a byway so we can bypass Knox County going on up to 75?
Yeah. I think that's a possibility, and I think eventually it probably needs to go from 40 into 75 and then back into 40 and 75 on the Loudoun County end. But yeah, eventually you have to do it to get the trucks off the road.
Any concern about those folks that are living in Anderson County now who might be thinking, wait a minute, my beautiful paradise lifestyle I've got is about to be potentially interrupted by an interstate?
Well, it depends on where you put it in Anderson County. And I know one of the routes went through Hardin Valley.
Yes, sir.
That created quite a bit of an uproar. And so you have to work with the people to find out what routes are acceptable.
But for perspective and that not in my backyard kind of mentality, which we will see no matter where it goes, for our viewers, would you say this is a project that's not going to happen for at least a decade, maybe two?
I wouldn't say two.
Okay.
But I'd say maybe a decade or shorter.
All right.
It's needed, very much needed.
We're going to take a quick break on Inside Tennessee, back with a lot of other issues to get to that the legislature will tackle. Despite just having one duty, they tend to dive into a few other things. We'll be back with Lieutenant Governor Fannie McNally.
Sometimes it's not always good.